Hello and welcome to today's flight. Today is February 25th, 2025, and we are on the 8th leg of a flight around the world in our Piper Seneca. We departed Tacoma Narrows Airport on February 21st to Minot, North Dakota, and then from Minot we went to Quebec, Canada, the southeastern portion of Quebec, and then from there we went to the very northeastern portion of Newfoundland and Quebec, and then from there to the southern tip of Greenland. From there we went to Iceland, and then from Iceland, we flew to the northern part of the United Kingdom. And that brings us to today's flight, February 25th, where we flew into Ronneby Airport in southeastern Sweden. All right, here we go. I have the video running, and we're at 5,000 feet descending according to the descent profile of my approach plate, which I have to my right. I have a second screen that I use to my right side, and I have Navigraph up there. So I'm doing step down descents here according to the chart, and pretty soon here I'm going to start flying the glide slope. And we have some weather up ahead. You can see to the right hand, see there's some rain. The rain effects, by the way, are exquisite in Flight Simulator. Absolutely amazing. So here we are, outside view. The cloud rendering is absolutely fantastic in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So if you look to the right, I have weather radar, and there is a little bit of a cell off to the front right of the airplane. So I'm adjusting my mixture right now. So we're at 4,000 feet. So I have mixture at full rich, and I have the prop controls also full forward as we descend here out of 3,800. And descent rate right now is about 1,100 feet per minute. And scanning the instruments and closing the cowl flaps. We're on the base leg basically here. Both fuel pumps are on. Landing lights on, and it looks like the cloud layer, we should be well below the cloud layer, or at least just below the cloud layer as we turn final. Looks like the rain's let up a little bit. Still looking at the weather radar, making sure my switches are set properly. Yeah, just look at those clouds. Oh, amazing. That Flight Simulator is just absolutely exquisite when it comes to cloud rendering. So there's the GPS, which is a GNS 750. What an absolutely amazing piece of equipment. The airplane, by the way, is a Piper Seneca turbo. I love the Piper products. They really do an amazing job on the instrumentation, and I like steam gauges. It's what I fly in the real world, so I tend to gravitate toward steam gauges. I'm just adjusting the throttle here a little bit to maintain my approach speed. I'm going to level off right about 2,000 feet, which is the according to the descent profile of this leg, and then we'll start keeping an eye on the glide slope. So the Piper Seneca, the turbo, 220 turbo, which is the Seneca 5, is an amazing machine. As you can tell, I have flown from the west coast of the United States in Washington State, and now I'm in Sweden, and it's only been 4 days. So it really does a good job. It's an all-weather machine. It has prop heat, windshield heat. That's rectangular piece there that you see on the windscreen is the windshield heater. It's also got surface de-icer. So right now I'm just keeping an eye out because it's close to freezing, and anytime you have precipitation when it's close to freezing, you have to keep an eye out to make sure that it's not starting to build up on the surfaces of the airplane. It doesn't appear to be, but I do have my anti-ice on just in case. It certainly doesn't hurt. Still not able to see the runway. Visibility is not the greatest. It's not really horrible weather right now. So I'm at 2,400 on this leg. The descent profile calls for not less than 2,400. Coming up on a waypoint here, and then I'll start to descend down to 2,000. and then I'll start watching the glide slope. Everything's looking good. Just coming up on a waypoint now. If you see the GNS 750 there, indicating that we're coming up to our next waypoint, and our next, there's the right turn, so we're turning final now. Ronneby approach. Angel Flight 641 is 10 south, inbound, landing runway 19, full stop, Ronneby. And by the way, I fly a virtual airline on these flights. It's Premier Virtual Airlines. It's a really amazing virtual airline. It allows you to fly virtually any carrier in the world. In this case, I am flying Angel Flight is my call sign, which is an air charity network based out of Virginia. And for this entire around the globe flight, I've been flying under the Angel Flight call sign, Angel Flight 641. There you can see on the weather radar, just to the right side, there's a little bit of a heavier cell. It looks like we'll be to the left of that, so I'm not really concerned about it. The rain has subsided, or really there is none right now. Still can't see the runway. Now we're going to level off at 2,000 here for this segment, and then at the next waypoint is when we're going to make our descent down to decision altitude. And if we need to execute a missed approach, I have briefed that plate. So it's been super fun flying around the world in a piston airplane. I've done it in the Learjet, the FlySimware Learjet, which was a lot of fun. Certainly doesn't take as much time, but honestly, this to me is more enjoyable. I absolutely love the piston engine aircraft. I like having to manipulate the fuel air mixture, the prop controls. It's just you have to really spend a lot more effort managing. So the rain there. The rain effects are really amazing in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yeah, so I really just enjoy managing all of the systems on the piston airplanes. You really have to be sharp. And again, as I said earlier, it's what I fly in the real world, so I am more comfortable with the piston engine aircraft. Ronneby traffic, Angel Flight 641, 5 mile final, runway 19, Ronneby. Alright, so we're 5 miles out. I just added flaps. You just saw the annunciator panel light up there during the flap transit. So flaps 1, I'll add flaps 2 here in a minute. The approach speed is 87 knots. Typically, there's really no gust factor here, so I'm going to fly it in at 90 knots. So I'm managing the airspeed with pitch and my sync rate with power. Still no runway there. Now we're coming out of 1,400, descending. Nothing visible. Yeah, I think I could see the runway there now. Ronneby traffic, Angel Flight 641, 3 mile final, runway 19, full stop, Ronneby. 3 miles to go. Everything's looking good. The runway's not, I wouldn't say clearly visible, but it's coming. Yeah, I can see the runway, the approach lighting system, so all good. There's the rain. Little outside view, small river there. Yeah, you can see if you look at the weather radar, that cell that I mentioned is behind us now, so it's no factor at all. Just light rain here in Sweden today. After this, I'm going to take off and fly to Russia. I'll be spending a fair amount of time in Russia since it's so large. It'll probably take 3 flights to get across, and then the plan is to fly the Aleutian Islands into Alaska and then work my way down back to my point of origin at Tacoma Narrows Airport, Gig Harbor, where I have my real-world airplane hangared. It's looking good. Glide slope is looking great. Descent rate's 500 feet per minute, managing the airspeed right at about 90 knots. Getting a little bit of turbulence, pretty minor. A little bit of mechanical turbulence as we make our way down to the runway threshold. Everything is looking good. Boy, some of the airports I flew into, I regret not having filmed when I flew into Greenland and to the northern part of the Quebec province in Canada. Just the snow, landing in the snow-covered runways was really amazing. This pretty smooth here. I'm going to start transitioning as we make our way down and pulling the power back. Stay in ground effect, nose up. All right, we are on the ground, retracting the flaps. You see the annunciator panel there. That's flaps in transit. Should be able to make the first turn off here and taxi off. Ronneby traffic, Angel Flight 641 is clear of runway 19, Ronneby. Thanks for joining me on today's flight, and I'll be sure to create more content as we make our way around the world in our Piper Seneca.